Montreal, Canada, the venue for the 1976 Summer Olympics. The flame was burning bright in the stadium, and no one could extinguish the might of the American boxing team. 5 gold medals won, and 4 of those fighters became future champions of the world, and one of those was Sugar Ray Leonard.
The Americans have won this gold medal twice. They won it at the last Olympics with Sugar Ray Seales, and they won it in '52 with Charles Adkins. Third and final round of the light welterweight final. Andres Aldama of Cuba, the big-hitting Cuban who hasn't succeeded in finding the punch with which to stop Sugar Ray Leonard of the United States. Aldama has been completely outboxed for 2 rounds by Leonard, who's moved this way and that. He's outboxed him at long range and outboxed him close in. And Aldama's only hope now, having been down in the second round, is to find one good left hand, similar to the ones with which he put 4 previous opponents away inside the distance. Aldama doing the chasing, and Leonard now taking it at long range again. 1 round of close-in stuff in the second. Now keeping away, perhaps feeling that he's scored enough points, and if he keeps out of trouble, he must get it. And Leonard once again finding him with the better punches. And the Cuban now, in all honesty, coming forward but looking totally ineffective and somewhat desperate. But he could be at his most dangerous. Cuban's left hand being turned against him. The Americans' left dominating this contest again and again. And Leonard sees his chance, perhaps, to get an inside the distance win. The Cuban hanging in there, trying to find some good punches. But all the good punches are coming from Leonard, and he staggers almost down, gum shield popping out of his mouth. And Mr. Kuchar of Iran, for the second time, counts over the Cuban. Oh, and he's going to get him. 8 seconds to go. Aldama reeling around the ring. And already, Leonard acclaiming victory. Time's up. Time's up. A standing count completes the contest, but time is up. And so it goes to the judges for decision. But there can be no possible doubt about it. Ray Leonard of the United States has taken on the mighty hitting Andres Aldama of Cuba and beaten him at his own game.
Could this boxing masterclass be emulated by his fellow teammates?
Mike Spinks, United States, only 20 last week, and who's had only 1 contest in this competition because of withdrawals by the African nations. So it's a Soviet Union, United States confrontation. The black American boxer, Mike Spinks, who beat a Polish boxer in his only contest so far, and Rufat Riskiev of the Soviet Union, who is in fact the reigning world champion at this weight. Strangely enough, Riskiev, the Russian, you can see the damage on the right eye. It's been well plastered, and I'm surprised they let them come in with that, because the rules of the AIBAs definitely say that there must be no treatment allowed during a contest, and he obviously has some sort of plaster on the right eye. This man Riskiev boxed in an all-heavyweight match, although he's only a middle. He boxed in an all-heavyweight match between the Soviet Union and the United States in America, and he was outpointed by Mike Spink's brother Leon, whom we shall be seeing later in the light heavyweight final. And he might just have the measure of Mike Spinks, who isn't considered by the Americans to be quite as useful as his brother. He certainly lacks international experience. Every bout over 3 rounds, of course, 3 minutes each round. And tonight, the culmination of 2 weeks of Olympic boxing. Only yesterday did we have no boxing. The day before the finals is traditionally a rest day. Spinks eager to go on the attack. Riskiev concerned about keeping that right eye out of trouble. And walking into trouble from the right hand of Mike Spinks. And those big punches of the American troubling the Russian as we come towards the end of this opening round. Referee Espinosa from Cuba. And it looks to me as though Riskiev has decided that he's got to risk everything, because he's starting to open it up. I don't know if that's wise against Spinks, but he obviously feels he didn't get very far in the first, and now he's beginning to come forward and throw punches, and therefore exposing that right eye. Is through, and over goes the man from the Soviet Union. And his legs are not back with him yet. Will the referee allow him to go on? He's deciding whether, and he's let him come back in. 1 minute and 7 seconds left of the second round. And it looks as though the one slim hope of a gold medal for the Soviet Union is disappearing down the drain rapidly. One after the referee's caution to stop there from the Russian. "35 seconds to go. Watch the head. Second caution. And Riskiev's only hope now is to land a big one himself. He's never going to outbox this man. Ten seconds to the end of the second round. Riskiev having a go with the right at the end of that round. That's his only hope now. 1 round to go. This is probably that right hand that put the man from Tashkent on the floor. A great overarm right, which he should have seen coming and didn't. And I'm not so sure he was completely recovered when he finally went on. Third and final round of the middleweight final. Rufat Riskiev of the Soviet Union. Mike Spinks, the younger of the 2 American brothers who are in these finals, bidding for a family double gold, which may well be unique in the history of Olympic boxing. Riskiev, immensely strong. Taken that good right hand in the second and still coming back. Spinks just beginning to show the first signs of tiredness. And the referee giving Riskiev a standing count. Absolutely permissible if he thinks he's taking too much punishment. So the Russians' slender hopes have now dwindled almost to nothing. And he's hurt to the body. Doubled over in pain. Another standing count. Probably trying to claim a low blow, and he is trying to claim a low blow, and being led to his corner, presumably stopped, and leaving Mike Spinks as the winner. Let's have a look at that again. Well, I don't know. That might have been right on the borderline. I'm not too sure that was low. It was controversial, but by no means certainly low. Spinks, referee, stop contest, third round. Relief for Mike Spinks because he didn't know either quite what was going on. So the first half of the family double is up, and his brother, his elder brother, Leon Spinks, is coming up in the next final at light heavyweight. We could well have an extraordinary family double. And here we are, just at the start of the light heavyweight final, and this is the elder brother of the man you've just seen win the middleweight gold medal. This is Leon Spinks, 23 years old, trying to get this family double gold in the Olympic finals. And this is a confrontation everyone in the Forum Arena in Montreal is waiting for. Cuba versus USA, and the Cuban is Sisto Soria, who has this sensational right hand that has already shattered 3 opponents in these championships inside a total of 5 rounds. So the question is, can America's Leon Spinks stand up to this man's enormous right hand punch? Sisto Soria of Cuba, Corporal Leon Spinks of the United States Marines. This tall, lean Cuban, who looks frail, but in fact packs an almighty wallop in the right hand. Referee from the Soviet Union, Mr. Sabin. Spinks has had 4 wins on his way to the final. 1 first-round knockout against a Moroccan, and then 3 very good points wins against good East European opposition. Soria's appearances in the quarter-final and the semi-finals lasted exactly 1 minute 26 and then 58 seconds against the Romanian Definoiu. And that's just about the time on the clock now that he took to beat the Romanian in the semi-final. Leon Spinks, no respecter of that right hand, no intention whatever of playing it safe. And the test for Soria may well be, can he take a punch as well as he gives one? So many punches don't. One low from the Cuban. Been a little spate of low punching in the last few days. One Russian was disqualified for it. Spinks whacking those left hooks in against the body of the Cuban, who so far has shown every sign of being able to take a good punch. Not able to get a clear shot at Spinks's jaw inside. The American well covered up. Before he went down. Compulsory 8 count. Right at the end, and that's probably lucky for Sarria that the clock was right on 3 minutes, because he might not have survived had there been another 30 seconds or so to go. This was right in the closing seconds of the opening round. Beginning to show signs of danger with that right hand, Spinks. And then that one full on the jaw. The previous one was high up, and he was going down, and one more for good measure, just as the Russian referee was stepping in. Second round light heavyweight final. 15 to 16,000 people in the Forum in Montreal now, seething with excitement. Typical American expertise, standing in close, denying the tall Cuban the chance to swing his punches, and then at the right moment stepping back and firing the right hand. That is professional expertise from Spinks. The Cuban corner clearly anxious, being told to stop coaching their man from the corner. Got him again, this time with the left hand, and Sarria backs off. The puncher is out-punched. It's happened before. Rocking him all over the place now. A minute and 15 seconds to go of the second round. And unless Spinks tires and the Cuban can come back with something, this gold medal is in the bag for Spinks and America. And it'll be their 5th of the night. Just over 30 seconds to go. Spinks gets a public warning. Well, Sarria has stood up well to Spinks' punching in this round. He's taken the best that Spinks can throw, and he hasn't gone down this time. but he's a long, long way behind. Just a sample of those huge Spinks punches coming at Sarria in the second round. Cuba, the most successful nation in Munich, but destined not to be tonight. This resurgence of American amateur boxing is really quite remarkable. Last round, light heavyweight final, Sisto Sarria of Cuba, Corporal Leon Spinks of the United States Marines. Again, the Cuban corner told to stop shouting. And full marks to the Cuban, Sarria. He's going to have a go. And if he catches Spinks in a tired situation, anything could happen. Oh, he's got him with the right. He came back and floored him face down. Everybody's on their feet in this arena. He managed to get up. That's amazing enough in itself. And it's been... No, it hasn't been stopped. I thought the referee... Yes, it has been stopped. He's sending the Cuban back to the corner. Sarria wanted to go on. But the Soviet Union referee had seen enough, and Sarria of Cuba is stopped in the third round. Here was an angry man who didn't like being hurt by the Cuban. And that last right hand to the top of the head was enough to see Cuba off.
Le gagnant par arrêt de l'arbitre, troisième round, dans le point bleu, Leon Spinks, États-Unis.